Hammy was going and yammering on about something that had been bothering me too. And now I don't remember what it was because he put Kurt on his show, Kurt Schlichter on his show. And you put Kurt Schlichter on a show and my brain just sort of automatically goes into, I really don't give a damn mode. It's not picking on Kurt by any means. He's the perfect antidote to anybody being generally annoyed with the whole existence of, all of the garbage out there. But, I think that, I think that we have people who are getting lost. We have Prairie Dog and Ruth in one chat, and then we have Taylor, NJ, and Fishy in another. And the only thing I could think of is to say a mass reload on the part of the people. But we should not have two chats. You should be in page ID 31, and you should all be in the same place. But you gotta love the technical issues tonight. This is the first time we've had them this bad. And for the record, the whole one-sided conversation thing earlier, I think, is the absolute and complete fault of Skype. I'm not being, like a Democrat and blame everybody else, because I didn't do anything to my settings, but they did something to theirs, because basically they're locking out their API, which is something that a couple of the tech folk that are running around would know about. And yes, I will be hitting you up to figure this out. I have no doubt quite a few people, like folks over at FTR, etc., are going to be scrambling to figure out how to deal with this. So I'm probably the first one to get hit. And where do we find the mysterious chat that we are in? You want to go to vigilantradio.us/page_ID=31. And you should be in the same chat with everyone else. So, I'm sorry about that, folks. I mean, basically, I am assuming that if people go to the chat... now I see P-Dog, and I'm assuming the other guest is probably going to be Ruth. So, basically, it's been a little bit crazy. I'm sorry for that, and we were all talking about conservative women and Hammy's mysterious hot con chick list. And it doesn't exist, or at least that's his claim. He occasionally goes and says that somebody's on a hot con chick list because they're posing with an AR-15 or a rebuilt Mustang. Of course, I was tempted to sit there and say, okay, I build all the furniture that comes into my house because, the male that resides here has a real big issue with that whole building things situation. There's a really big punchline involved in that because, he works for a building supply company. And theoretically, well, no, not theoretically. He definitely can go and put windows into houses because, he sells them. And the funny thing about window manufacturers is they make you learn how to install their product if you're going to sell it. I'm trying to remember, but I think I waited about 4 or 5 years. 4? The daughter is saying 4. 4 years for the, well, it wasn't the husband yet then, but yeah, I waited 4 years for him to install a window in my kitchen. And it was given to me on my birthday. Wrapped up.
And about nearly 3 years, you had to wait for a sink.
Oh, yeah. And the daughter pointed out I had to wait 3 years for a sink. He put in a new countertop. So
2 years for that.
yeah.
2 years to get it repainted too.
My goodness. Wow, the daughter remembers everything. And
You complain about it most of the time. How can I forget?
Now we all hear the daughter in the background. But yeah, I complain about quite a bit, and the irony is that the kitchen counter still isn't completely installed. There is one screw loose.
I forgot about that.
Every time you go to open the one door, the frame comes out with it. So
Underneath the sink.
that's right. So yeah, basically one day I'll get fed up with it and sit there and say, okay, fine, I'm gonna go and crawl around with the cordless driver and fix it, even though I'm not supposed to play with power tools beyond a Dremel tool. I'm not sure about that rule myself. My father had it for me. I think he decided it wasn't a good idea to let me have power tools because I might do something to hurt him as opposed to myself. But my dad taught me many things about home repair. And
don't ask him anything about electrical.
and electrical repair and all of that. Most of it was lessons on what not to do. Like when you're unsure of the flooring under your feet in an attic, it's not a good idea to just go walking around because you might end up putting your foot down through the ceiling below. Yeah, he did that one before I hit kindergarten.
And to go and not go and tangle wires.
Yeah.
I'm entertaining myself right now by like going over how many. Don't kick the wall when the plaster is not fully set.
Don't kick the wall when the plaster's not fully set. Yeah, that would be the hallway. I still have to fix that.
Don't ever put electrical near ceiling tiles because there will be a big black dot known as cindering.
No, that wasn't electrical. That was a candle. But that was the cat's fault. The cat kept on going after the candle, and we all thought, oh, wait, she's going to knock it down and set fire to the house, so I almost set fire to the ceiling towel.
I thought that was Pat for a minute.
No, that was me. That's the only damage I've done to the house. And it was unintentional.
Don't trust your contracting brothers with a big home improvement job if you don't know if they can do the job right the first time.
Exactly. And I still have to replace the lighting fixture because my uncle, ended up letting water go down the drain the wrong way, and the crystal chandelier was bleeding. At least that's what the daughter was saying. Look, Mom, it's bleeding. Water coming down. I went to turn it on. You were 6 at the time, but you were right. It was bleeding. It looked like blood because it was all rusty water coming down, and yeah, it was bad. And ever since then,
we learned after that, turn off the electrical, pray to God your uncle don't die.
Yeah, and I learned that I went to replace the switch. No, I replaced a light bulb in it, and it blew out the switch, so I had to put in a new dimmer. And then I quit changing light bulbs in it. So when all the light bulbs go out, the fixture has to go. There's logic for you. Homeowners basics. You know that your light fixture's dying. You know that if you change the light bulb, it's going to blow up your light switch. When all the light bulbs burn out, then it's time to replace the fixture. Oh my. But we're going to take a break now, and hopefully the teenage daughter won't be saying any more horrible things about the awful state of my home when we come back.
You're the one that brought it up! You are the one that brought it up!
We'll be back, folks.
You're listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio.
1
How much of people's income do you, Michael Moore, want the government to confiscate?
Probably twice what we're paying right now.
It's not envy, it's war.
Where's the rage? Where's the uprising?
Storm the doors of the New York Stock Exchange.
It is a class war.
If the wealthy paid their fair share. For a documentary filmmaker, I do really well. I'm very blessed.
And the rich thought poverty was bad.
I do well.
They get rid of it.
What pure? There's nothing pure about capitalism.
And they know what's coming on Wall Street.
We're seeing the end of capitalism. And I say good riddance.
He is one of my favorite capitalists. No, I want to give him a hug.
And we're back, and I think we'll still end up hearing from my daughter because I think she just tried to blind one of our cats. I'm not going to ask how.
Flying cat!
Oh, flying cat.
I went to pick her up, and she went hopping, and then I'm like watching her flip through the air.
She flipped through the air. Cat flipping, the new sport in the Harrison household.
No, it's not. I thought I was going to kill the cat. I felt bad.
Oh my. See, the daughter is in radio club at college, so she's decided that it's a good idea to talk in the background when...
I normally do this at my radio club, so it doesn't even matter.
So she decides it's a good idea to talk in the background when Mom's on the air.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if her younger brother, Pint-Sized Pundit, was around, he'd probably be smacking her upside the head and saying, "Don't talk!"
He's entertaining himself with YouTube.
Yes. The youngest one is Pint-Size is watching YouTube, and I'll be afraid to look at the history.
I can tell you this right now, it's mostly going to contain Minecraft.
Minecraft, oh joy. But, otherwise, as far as fun stuff goes, I see that Baragon joined the chat, and yeah, we'll have to have a chat after this, Tom, because there's stuff that they're doing with Skype that makes life interesting. Their virtual cable does not seem to, resolve the issue, or I have to change the settings. But, let's see, what was the other more interesting thing of the day? And I'm trying to see here. Miss Ruth was in the lovely Getting Hammered show where they were complaining about the thing that I can't remember now, and I actually did want to talk about it, and I don't remember now what it was.
Hey, Mom.
So maybe Ruth will...
Obama weed?
Yes, we talked about Obama weed. Obama weed, Obama weed. WDV was always good for a laugh. There's another Pittsburgh radio thing that I know I really shouldn't be talking about. Somebody could go and, take his headset off and not listen or something. Yeah. We lost a couple conservatives from the Pittsburgh market. Quinn and Rose. And we're relatively mourning the concept. And I'm sitting back thinking, Quinn wanted to be the Howard Stern of Pittsburgh. He had a tendency to get himself into trouble. And those of us who knew him from way back when he was doing, Top 40 radio, B94, which is now owned by CBS and is Sport Talk. Yeah, Jim Quinn is an old Pittsburgh radio icon. So he went into talk radio several years ago, and he basically came in sometime after Rush Limbaugh